Hey there, it's Mark again, and I'm back with a new video and some new thoughts I'd like to talk about. Nearly 2 weeks ago now, as everybody knows, Charlie Kirk was killed. This video is not about Charlie Kirk, and it's not really about my thoughts regarding Charlie Kirk and what he stood for. It's more about the way people respond online to events like this. I have no desire right now to share my stance, my opinions, my thoughts on Charlie Kirk himself. This is inspired by him and his murder, but not about him. What I saw online, and what I always seem to see when political issues or divisive topics occur in the news, everybody seems to want to share their feelings and opinions on Facebook, on Twitter, X, on Instagram, all social media. I used to do the same, but somewhere along the way, I realized what was happening each time I shared something like that. And I guess I wonder, do other people see it too? What it is that I think is it largely comes down to virtue signaling, regardless which side you're on. People share their thoughts, their opinions, views from their side of the topic, and I'm not sure what they hope to accomplish. In general, your audience on social media is people who already know you. Friends, family, community members, so on. If you post your views on a topic like this that we know is divisive, are you venting? Which I can understand. These things are deeply emotional subjects. Some are happy, some are angry. Emotions run the gamut, opinions run the gamut. It's people land everywhere on every topic. But when you post and you say, "This is where I stand," okay, great. What of it? Like I said, are we venting? Because that can be healthy. Does venting need to be done publicly? Is there a benefit to that? I think there can be harm that comes from that, because when we vent, we express our emotions, and other people who disagree with us are also emotionally charged and are likely to respond. Rarely does this become a healthy debate. It tends to become argument, insult, potentially loss of friendship. At the very least, hard feelings, as there tends to be some name calling or some language involved to insult the people who feel different than us. This doesn't usually lead to anything healthy, though you in that moment may feel better because you got it off your chest. Now, are we hoping to change somebody's mind about their views? That doesn't usually happen. You can post videos, you can post quotes, you can post your views, you can post all the reasons why you feel the way you feel. Unless somebody is still seeking to form an opinion, I don't think it does any good. The people who view your posts will either say, "I'm aligned with that," or "I disagree with that." But nothing's really accomplished. The reason that I chose to stop posting things about my views on these divisive topics, like elections, like murders. I mean, I'm against murder. I can say that. Doesn't matter who it is. I'm against it. We shouldn't be murdering people. I think it's pretty simple to say that. It's pretty safe to say. There shouldn't be anybody who disagrees with that. But I'm already treading on dangerous ground because I know there are people who actually think some people need to be killed. What I was saying, the reason that I stopped posting things like that, I thought about who's reading the post. Again, it's my friends, my family, my community. In particular, it's people I grew up going to school with. There's a long history of friendship there. I'm nearly 50. I've known some of those people since we were 5, 6, 7 years old. That's a long time to have a friendship with anybody, and I'm very thankful for those people. And in a lot of cases, it wasn't until after high school and probably when Facebook really became popular, that's when I started to see people sharing their views on things, and I came to realize I've got a lot of friends who I don't see eye to eye with. And you know what? I never cared before that. If I start caring now more about their views than about the friendship itself, I'd be throwing a lot away. If I post memes and jokes and videos and quotes and things that are kind of inflammatory towards the people who see things different than me, I'm largely insulting my own friends. I don't care to do that. And I don't know why anybody does. It's good to have values. It's good to have friends. You should never trade your values to keep your friends. I think that is still sound advice. My parents raised me like that. You don't trade in your values to have friends. But I don't think we have to. At least here in America, people are free to make choices for themselves, largely. And politically, they are free to hold their opinions and vote for politicians that support their views, and that's great. But along with that, there's a reason we go into a voting booth in private to cast our vote. It's so that nobody else knows how we voted. Nobody should be trying to change our views, to change our vote, and nobody should be judging us after we vote. That's private. That's personal. It's part of being American. You shouldn't have to explain to anybody why you voted the way you voted, right? So why do we spend so much time posting on social media how we're gonna vote, how we did vote, why we voted that way? It's one of the most personal things we have as Americans, and yet we share it so publicly, and then we force it on people, and then we insult, degrade's the wrong word probably, but we do this to people we care about because we disagree. I personally value my friendships enough that I don't want to start fights and arguments and sling insults or have them thrown at me between friends, between family. I love my friends and my family, even if I disagree with them. I would encourage you to do the same. Have we just come to a point in America where we actually value the feeling of knowing that we are right more than we value relationships with the people around us? I am sure that those of you who watch this have opinions on many of the things I've said. I would love to hear your thoughts shared respectfully and kindly as I have tried to share mine. I will disagree with some of you. Many of you will disagree with me, and that's okay. I would just like to encourage you to think about who you might be hurting when you post your views on social media, especially if you're slinging mud at the people who feel different than you. Relationships matter more. You can be right and you can be lonely. You can be right and be in an echo chamber, or you can have friends and at least try to maintain an open mind or at least open communication with people who feel different. These are my views. I feel that my life would be better if more people thought this way, but I'm not here to force my views on you. If you disagree, so be it. Carry on the way you were, or in whatever manner you choose, I guess. One of the things that I thought early on, as people were posting their thoughts after Charlie Kirk was murdered, was that I don't want to need to post my views publicly. If my friends and family don't already know where I stand and how I feel on major social and political topics, then I don't think I'm living my life the way that I should. I don't expect strangers to know how I feel, and I don't expect them to care. But the people who are close to me, the people who are my friends and family, I shouldn't even have to tell them. If I've been living my life, living out my beliefs, I think they'll know. And they don't need to read it, and I don't need to share it. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this, and I really do hope you'll share your views. Thank you.